Hello, welcome to day one of your video training where you're going to learn how to build sexy muscle, lose excess body fat and end diet confusion. For some of you who might not know me, hi, my name is Elena Terziska and I help women build up strong bodies, lose excess fat and ultimately feel better in their skin by improving their nutrition and relationship to food as well, which is kind of what this training is going to be about, and all about explaining those super important things that are really tied together to help you create the body that you want. And today we are going to talk about how to build muscle and lose body fat. And should you always aim to do the two things together? Now, very often I get this question asked a lot, Elena, how do I build lean muscle and lose body fat in the process? And here is the real honest answer in how this actually works. Now, if you are a brand new person to the gym and you haven't exercised before, or you've actually taken really big time away from the gym and you're just returning back, there is a really good chance that you will be able to do both at the same time, where you will be able to build lean muscle and lose body fat. Hence why one of the biggest transformation usually happens within, the first 3 to 6 months of any body transformation. What usually happens after that, and once you start becoming more confident in the gym and your body starts becoming more adapted to training, then it becomes really difficult to build muscle on a calorie deficit, which is ultimately the thing that you need to be on if you want to lose body fat. So what happens in that situation is you really have to evaluate what your bigger desire here is. Do you actually want to build muscle or do you want to lose body fat? And the important part is to really look at your dieting history first and your exercise history before you make that snap decision. Are you in a place where you are no longer losing body fat and your calories are super low? And are you in a place where you've actually been in a calorie deficit for a very long time? You've stopped seeing any changes. So what should you do next? But your aim is still to lose fat. Now, if you belong to the first group where you have dieted yourself down to a very low calorie, and be very specific and honest with yourself here, how low your calories were. Did you go through stages of where your restriction was so severe that you ended up in binge eating patterns, which is a little bit of a different topic. But say, for example, if you have been in that position where you've dieted yourself down to really low calories and you don't know what to do from here on. Now, a really good way that you can approach this is by two ways, is to simply remove yourself from that kind of adaptation. So remove yourself from, the low calories that you currently are on and take yourself back up to maintenance. What that means is that what are the calories that you actually currently need to sustain the weight that you're currently on. And there are many calculators online that you can use this, and I'll actually link this below. One of them is I believe it's called tdee.com, where you are able to find what your total daily energy expenditure is and how is that related to exercise, and what your calories should be based on your training, your age, and your need movement, which is the non-exercise active thermogenesis during your day. So, but basically the bottom line is, once you've hit that plateau, take yourself up to maintenance, allow yourself to stay there for a few days to see how your body adapts. And because you're in a maintenance phase, you are actually going to maintain the weight that you're currently on. You're not going to put too much weight on. Initially you might do, because that might be water retention and everything, but within a few days things should start settle down. If nothing changes after that, then there are many ways that you can go, and this is something a little bit difficult to discuss in a video because it's often very individual to each person is. But from that point, you really have to start asking yourself, do I want to continue dieting on such low calories, Or am I kind of okay with where I stand now and maybe shift my mentality in a slightly different direction, where I actually take myself out of a calorie deficit, build myself up in a calorie surplus, so slowly and steady, so I don't end up adding too much body fat on, so I can actually progress my upper calorie intake by building this up. Because what usually happens is, yes, as I mentioned earlier, you will end up putting weight, and that's a lot of it is going to be water retention. But eventually your NEAT will increase, which means your unconscious movement will increase. You will be able to use that energy better in the gym and more efficient. Hence why your energy expenditure is going to increase. And what that happens is you will actually reach a much higher level of calories, and then you can diet yourself down again. So be very smart and strategic and think about, are you actually doing yourself any favors by continuing to stay in calorie deficit for too long, continuing to really decrease your metabolism, or can you actually bite the bullet for a while and take yourself out of that, build up a new phase, build up some more lean muscle, which is paramount, which calorie surplus is actually paramount for building muscle when you're not a newbie anymore. So it's really something that only you can decide on, but ask yourself that question: do you want to be stuck in that rat wheel for forever and ever, where you're constantly dieting yourself down to completely ridiculous calories? What you are going to end up seeing is that eventually your body will change shape because of the lean muscle that you've managed to add on, and then you can, start the process again and build that physique by cutting more fat down and just reshaping your body. And once you get to a place where you're comfortable, then you can, build your maintenance calories up again and just stay there, and you don't have to go through the whole process again. But if you've been a chronic dieter, if you've experienced that, I think it's a really good idea to try the method where you can take yourself out of calorie deficit, build up the body that you really want, feel uncomfortable for a little bit, because it's not a very pleasant feeling, and I'm experiencing this myself right now. But knowing that there is such a much bigger picture behind it, if you have a strategic program, and if you've taken yourself out of calories, you are going to see changes, trust me, that you've never experienced before. And that is very, very important. And mentioning now about the strategic exercise program, this is what tomorrow's video is going to be all about. Whether you should just randomly move every single day, which is awesome, or should you stick to a very well-structured program, and what are the pros and cons of either. So make sure that you check your inbox tomorrow for the next video, and I'm going to go into bigger, deeper details on how to really find a program that works for you and what you can do to stick to it. If you benefit from this video, I would love if you can share that with your friends or someone else who might be in that kind of situation, and really get in touch with me, get back to me, let me know what you think about it. Was that helpful? I will also post the link to the TDEE website. Make sure again you check it out, and I will see you again tomorrow with how to find a well-structured program for your benefit. Bye.